Boom. Yeah. Salutations. This is a simple question, but it was too long to make the title. So my question is this, and I'm doing this because I don't know the answer to it. I think no one really does, but it's a good conversation of topic. I like it if a lot of people just comment on here, on Patreon, on YouTube, wherever I release this to. So anyway, the question is very simple. When Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, is not around, where do they go? Very simple question. When Bigfoot, Sasquatch is not around, where do they go? Now, hitting this from a certain level, from several different areas. One is you hear, well, they migrate. They migrate to different areas during the seasons. Okay, to exactly where do they migrate to? And for exactly what reason, when they're already capable, when they migrate sometimes from these high regions that are super cold to the next one, they're still enduring the same type of almost conditions in a lot of those situations. So I'm curious as to what they're migrating for and where they're going then and in between. So not that that doesn't happen. I do know that they do disappear like that. People say that, but nonetheless, I think that where are they going? Number two is the situation that is somewhat maybe a little more far-fetched, but yet when you start digging into this, the connection they have with trees and it then becoming trees. And I've went over several videos with that and the connection there. So do they become trees? That is a valid deal. And I personally believe that it's not all the 5, 6, 7, 8 species of Sasquatch that can do that. I think it's one specifically that maybe has blood, that has some type of a chlorophyll in it, or something that makes them more adapt to the plant kingdom strictly as opposed to the animal kingdom. But you've got others that are just animals. They're more animalistic. We've heard about them quite a bit, especially the type 2s. So anyway, that's one other thing we're dealing with, the tree hypothesis too, how close that goes into it. Then another one is the cave. Are they cave dwellers? Such as the one from Lovelace Cave, Lovelace Cave, I think it is, where the red-haired giants were found or killed there. They were cave dwellers. So are all Sasquatch cave dwellers though? I somehow don't think so. But are they using the caves for inner earth access? And maybe the inner earth, if we look at it scientifically and get off the Admiral Byrd thing, get off the Agartha thing a little bit, and realize that there are these caverns and these tunnels and cavernous structures within the inner earth. They could be using those. So the bottom line, do they have some type of an inner earth access also? And we've got the other thing that's saying that they're dimensional and they go into another dimension. Now, what does that really mean? Do they just change their vibration? Do they become non-physical? These are questions that are worthy of knowing. And when only they become third dimensional here, they need to eat and go steal chicken from some people and steal people's livestock. So, point being, where do these beings go when they're not around? And that takes us into certain amount metaphysical and I think paranormal things as well. And that just can't be alleviated when dealing with these creatures. And they're so adept at their environments. You know, some of the things I've heard when really dealing with some of the research about like the alpha males that are standing in a line, like looking like trees, facing a certain way, like facing east or something. I've heard some very interesting things. So, I don't know. Is this worthy of thought at all, at most? Where do they go when they're not around? That's something that actually Tom Powell and I, when I met him, he had asked me. He looked at me and said, Barry, where do they go when they're not around? And I'm like, I don't know, man. You tell me. He said, I think it's the inner earth. He thought he was an inner earth proponent. So, but I know people mess with him, and he got hoaxed recently, and I thought that wasn't very cool. You know, people try to play some sort of prank on him. That's not cool at all. Anyway, that's the main thing there. That's most of it. So kind of talk amongst yourselves. put your hypothesis up. What do you think they do? Where do they go when they're not around? Because nobody really knows. So we're all kind of making stabs in the dark, I think. But, you know, it's a question that's worthy. And could they stay strictly in the wilderness and survive that way, migrating? Yes, I guess so. But somehow I think there's a lot more to it than that. They see so many people want to discount them being seen dematerializing and disappearing, you know, and you have them using infrasound, or maybe it's electromagnetics, whatever they're doing to affect equipment and disable some people at sometimes as a weapon. So what is it really that's going on there? These whole things with the other aspect of them, or are they connected to the UFO phenomenon? Some people have seen them on board craft. I've heard that several times. Are the reptilians actually putting them to work like some type of worker? And so there's a problem there. Is that true? You know what I mean? But I've not encountered reptilians. I don't know. But some of the things I've heard, and these are, you know, from people that are actually in the field itself or experiences or whatever. It's very, very interesting. So anyway, just something to think on. If nothing else, please comment on there. I want to see what you think. Please subscribe. Please share the video. Put a like on there if you could. I want to appreciate everybody on Patreon that keeps me going, keeping these videos being made. I've done several videos over Sasquatch, mostly on Patreon, a lot of them, even more on YouTube, and some that I don't know how many, if I've released them all yet. This may be one of the final ones I do concerning Sasquatch. I've delved into it as close, as deeply as I can, both by people who've had contact, researchers, and try and do my own study. So I don't know how much more I have to say on it, but this is one final question that I just have for everybody. You know, so this is a question. Where did they go when they're not around? Please subscribe, put a like on it. Peace.